Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily UPSC MCQ series. 9th July it is and we are taking mission 2020 here. Details are crucial, questions are current affair based, context based, and the details are really crucial. So every day 40-50 page are there in this slide, so go through all of them and it will not take much time. Go through the video first, then go through the PDF there. And the Pocket News app is trending on number 1 by StudyIQ. Download that, go on to the Google Play there. And the affordable courses by StudyIQ by top faculties, the description is given below the video there. All links are given. Numbers you can call here, you can visit the website also. PDF you will get here. This is the Facebook page of mine and you can follow here and send me a request, I would approve that. And the Telegram's link is also given. You can follow me on Instagram too, and this is the case where this Telegram channel's link is given, so you can type that. And the StudyIQ's Telegram channel you all know. So on all these sources you will get the PDFs of these lessons. In the morning the Hindu lesson comes and in the evening these lessons come, both in Hindi and English. Question: the World Heritage Committee selects the sites to be listed as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. We all know Jaipur is recently selected on World Heritage Committee. Committee's meeting was only there in Azerbaijan's Baku city. So this is perfectly correct. Second statement: it comprises of representatives from 21 state parties that are elected by the General Assembly of state parties. You see, General Assembly elects these people on the particular list of representatives. So both the statements are correct. And you see, many important conventions are adopted by UNESCO, and in 72 the major convention was adopted there, and they are selected for 6 years as a term, but as a consensus they have cut it short for 4 years. So every member serves for 4 years now, and they take different turns, and World Heritage Committee is the most important body there. That's the case. So both the statements are correct. UPSC if asks this kind of detail, then means we need to read about many details, many bodies, or if UPSC goes into that much depth, then one thing is sure, that these details will not be that much difficult, and those will be very easy, and some things would have discussed would have been discussed in the current affairs somewhere. So that's why only those details will come there. So these two statements are correct. One, C is the answer, C both, because it was a very relevant question and it's an important data there. In the tentative list, we have many sites from India, means we have submitted there and they are under consideration, but declaration is there only for 38 sites till now. So 38th site is the Jaipur city. World Heritage Site is a landmark or an area which is selected by UNESCO as having cultural, historical, scientific or other forms of significances, as we all know that. But it's not legally protected. This is a wrong statement. It has legal protection actually. It stays in the legal area of that country only, but it gets a lot of protections, it gets funds also, and many conventions are working on those things, and this is a wrong statement. This is wrong. Second, once a site is declared as World Heritage Site, then it ceases to be the legal territory of that country. Just I told you that it stays there as a part of that country only. It is not changed for the international community, although the additional importance is given to that under these conventions. So that's the case, and the conservation efforts are taken, and they make some endangered lists also. Means in the endangered list, the monuments which are facing a lot of destruction, so they will be put there, and for a temporary period till the time the conservation is complete, and they do not need any more effort for conservation, then those will be removed from the endangered list. So that is also the case with this body and their efforts. Next, India does not have highest number of World Heritage Sites. It's just 38. Highest number is 55 in China and Italy both. So this is also wrong. So all the wrong options, D none is the answer. You can see all the details are given here. India has 38 sites, 30 cultural, 7 natural properties and 1 mixed site. Find out which are the mixed ones, which are the natural ones, and which are the cultural ones. These all are given in the Wikipedia website there, and in some other website also, ASI's website also these things are mentioned there. So it's a place listed by UNESCO, and that is the Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. So it talks about a wide area and a wide range of subjects, and 21 UNESCO member states are the representatives here, and they are elected by the General Assembly normally. So that's the case, and for 4 years these members will serve there. and the area which is declared as World Heritage Site, that will stay there in the legal territory of that country only. That's the case. And to get selected, these should come under these important categories. Although the particular range is very wide, and this can be anything, and there can be exceptions too. But normally these things are labeled in these categories. So that's the case. So geographically it may be, historically it may be identifiable. So that's the case. Next, legal status. Geneva Convention, Hague Convention, all these are applicable here. Okay, and these are legally protected areas under these conventions. And regarding the endangered sites, as I told you, that they may be removed after some time, till the time they stay there during the phase of conservation. So that's the case with endangered list, and all the details are given here. This convention concerning the protection of world's cultural and natural heritage, it was adopted by General Conference of UNESCO on November 1972. Since then, 193 states parties are there, and total 1121 World Heritage Sites are there in this world, 869 cultural and 213 natural and 39 mixed. Three important categories. India has one mixed site. Tell me about that. Italy and China both are having 55 sites, and India is at 6th number, and 38 sites are there. Next, Aadhaar and Other Laws Amendment Bill 2019. This is recently passed. It appeared in the Hindu newspaper today, and they introduced in Lok Sabha in January this year, but it got lapsed, and it could not get passed in Rajya Sabha at that time. So they brought a particular ordinance regarding that. We know when these things are not session, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, they are not in session, then ordinance can be brought there. So things that they wanted to get passed in ordinance, now they are passing that, and they are amending all these acts. They are concerned with this issue. In the act, Aadhaar Act of Target Delivery Act, they made it mandatory for many services and all, but now it's a voluntary provision. So they are actually pushing for the voluntary use of Aadhaar, and they are making processes very smooth if you use Aadhaar there. And a lot of things are announced there, and they are announcing 1 crore penalty on these private companies also, which stores the biometric and important Aadhaar data illegally without any consent. So they should get the consent, and all these things have respective provisions regarding that. That's the case, but it's not a mandatory thing in banking and taking a SIM or something like that, as they made it mandatory in 16 Act. So that's the case. So all our answers here, D is the answer, all are amended under that. You can see this was the data in today's The Hindu newspaper, and they announced this penalty also, and they said that it is going to be completely safe and sound, because necessary encryption is there, necessary safeguards we are putting here. But you see, India does not have a data protection law. Important data protection law is under making, and we need to see there. Till that time, total protection we cannot expect. Although we can expect, but things are risky, and these three acts are concerned with that, which are amended here. And this UIDAI authority is at the center of it. Voluntary use is proposed here, and that is getting a lot of backup. And you can see these were the provisions given under the ordinance, and these same things are there in the bill. Okay, and it talks about the UIDAI fund also. Earlier the money was going to a consolidated fund of India, and now the provision regarding UIDAI fund is there. So that's the case, and these are the penalties which they talked about in the ordinance there. And now 1 crore penalty on the companies there. Next, you need to recognize the personality here. He became a life member of Servants of the People Society. You see, you must have heard about the Servants of India Society, and that was launched by Gopal Krishna Gokhale, and it was the starting of the 20th century. And this Servants of the People Society, it was established by Lala Lajpat Rai, and this personality became the president of the society. Earlier he was a life member of that body. He was awarded the Bharat Ratna, but that was posthumously in 1966. Means in 1966 this person was dead, and he signed Tashkent Declaration. So this is the biggest hint. And who signed Tashkent Declaration, who went there and who died there, we all know. It was the very simple and brilliant Prime Minister of India, former Prime Minister of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. And D9 is the answer because his name is not given here. And he was very crucial in that phase after Nehru. And 10th January 1966, he signed this Tashkent Declaration with Muhammad Ayub. He was the president of Pakistan at that time. So this way 1965 war ended with Tashkent Declaration. But at the same time he got a heart attack there and he died. So that was a very controversial death. And he said that the preservation of freedom is not the task of soldiers alone. Whole nation has to be strong. This is a very relevant argument, and they may ask you giving this quote, and they will say that explain this statement in 300 words, or they may give you as an option for essay also, because whole essay can be written there. It's a very relevant line in the condition of India today. This thing is extremely relevant because the way they are campaigning with the name of forces and all, and their sacrifices and all, they are just taking advantage of that. This thing is very necessary, that whole nation has to be strong. We cannot hail these soldiers alone, and we cannot put their lives always at the risk. This is not like that, and whole nation needs to put effort there. And this line was very relevant by Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. That was important. And you can read here pre-independence data regarding him. It is given here, and he gave this Jai Jawan Ki Jai Kisan Nara. And after independence, he was very much crucial in Green Revolution, White Revolution, because he was there in 60s. With Sri Lanka also a very important pact, Sri Mao Shastri Pact he did, and Bharat Ratna was given posthumously to him 1966. Very soon he died. And details are important, as his statue was revealed on Varanasi airport by our Prime Minister Modi ji. Next, faster adoption and manufacturing to hybrid and electric vehicles. FAME scheme, we all know about that. It's regarding electric vehicles and their manufacturing. It's a whole industry that they are promoting there, and a lot of things are talked about regarding this industry. And a huge controversy is going on, like the conventional automobile industry that is using the internal combustion engine in their two-wheelers, three-wheelers and four-wheelers. They are protesting against this push which has been given here, and due to the environmental concern they are pushing for this scheme, and they are saying that electric vehicles will be promoted in a very forceful way, and they are giving these interest subsidies and all, and they want India to take up electric vehicles as soon as possible. But the issue is that the manufacturing is not there, as according to these announcements and all, and the charging infrastructure is the biggest hurdle there. You do not see anywhere this charging infrastructure on a public domain. So that's the case. Although it's a important component of this electric mobility mission plan of 2020. So that's important. This is correct. And it was not launched by Niti Aayog. This is Department of Heavy Industries under Ministry of Commerce. So it was Ministry of Commerce, only one is the answer. And under the Commerce Ministry, Department of Heavy Industry, that formulated this FAME scheme. First phase was launched in April 15, and it was extended till March 2019. Now the second version 2.0 is going on, and there were 4 focus areas. Those were explaining the objective here: demand creation of this electric vehicle industry, technology platform, and pilot projects, and charging infrastructure. That is the most important aspect of it, and that is working totally there. And now they are announcing a lot of things in the budget session. Next, Utkarsh 2022. Today it appeared in the newspaper. It is not regarding organic farming. It is not regarding e-governance. It is not regarding agriculture productivity goals. Although 2022 is a very ambitious year and many things are announced there. So in the economic area, RBI's 3-year policy, and you can call it medium-term strategy, because it is the time period of 3 years. So it's a medium-term strategy. If it is less than 1 year, then it is short-term strategy. If it is more than 5 years, then it is long-term strategy. And if it is around 3 to 5 years, then it's a medium-term strategy. So regarding the regulation of central banks and their supervision and important management of this particular sector, RBI's goal is very much important, and RBI's working is very much important. So regarding that, this important strategy they are unveiling here, and they are giving it a name, Utkarsh 2022. That's important. Why this move? It is all given here, and you can read that in the PDF, and it was given a name, especially the name is given there. RBI is a regulatory body for these banks, and NBFC's issue is also going on, NPA crisis is also going on. So this becomes extremely important. Next, integrated management of a public distribution system. PDS, PDS. It's launched by Ministry of which? Finance, Rural Development, Urban Affairs, all can be the answer, because it's a issue related to the public distribution. But you see, there is a ministry called Consumer Affairs and PDS Ministry. So directly it's a simple question. D is the answer here. And you see, they are about to launch the One Nation One Ration Card scheme. and it will start by 1st of July 2020. So till that time they need to do a lot of preparation for that. And this integrated management, it's a central sector scheme, appeared in PIB data today, and it's an important scheme for the portability of these state level and national level agencies. So this PDS issue, which is working for the national food security also, and we are using that. So for 2 years, 18, 19 and 19, 20, it will run, and it is the Ministry of Consumer Affairs and Food and Public Distribution. So IMPDS, they may ask you about that. And regarding the introduction of national portability of ration cards, this is working there. Okay. POSs are being installed there. 70% they are completed in all the in many of the states, but in all the states, in all the districts, the POS machinery should be established by 30th June next year. Next, agriculture census is conducted at interval of every 5 years. This is a correct statement. In this country, every 5 years, agriculture census is done. Last this was done in 2010-11 and then 15-16. In this 5 years time, they saw a difference there. Actually, the operational holding by females in this country, the land holding, is actually increased by 1%. So this is wrong. First statement is correct, and it is by Department of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers Welfare. That is the correct statement. Only one is the answer here. And you see, they are talking about the feminization of agriculture. A lot of things are mentioned regarding females. Organic agriculture is finding a proper exclusive mention there this year. And in Chandigarh, the important summit also happened regarding the female entrepreneurs and the agriculturists. So organic farming was the theme there. Again here the issue that is discussed, that is feminization of the agriculture. So Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, it is talking about this issue, and they are telling that in this agricultural census, which is happening every 5 years, that is telling us that it increased from 12.78 to 13.78 in this 5 years time. And in line with the provisions of National Policy of Farmers, that is 2007 policy, and we need urgently a new policy there, and we need to implement a lot of things, because next census would be very, very important, and it's a most dangerous agrarian crisis phase for farmers in these last 5 years. So we need to see what is going to be there, but it is especially for the females and feminization of the agriculture. So they are talking about an exclusive scheme, Mahila Kisan Sashaktikarana Pariyojana. It is not by Ministry of Agriculture, it is by Ministry of Rural Development. That's important. And because there is a program run by Rural Development Ministry, that is Deen Dayal Upadhyay Antyodaya Yojana, National Rural Livelihood Mission, Antyodaya Yojana it is. So this Mahila Kisan Sashaktikarana Pariyojana is the sub-component of this particular scheme only, and it is run by Rural Development Ministry. So it's a rural area mainly, and there only these operational land holdings are located mainly. So that's why it's important. So two ministries are mentioned here, and this scheme Mahila Sashaktikarana Pariyojana is by Ministry of Rural Development. So that is to be remembered here. Next, Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana, BJP, PM BJP. So PM, everywhere we find the mention of PM, and Bharatiya B and BJP. So JP Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana, you can remember easily that. And under this particular Pariyojana, they are taking the case of generic medicines. Generic medicines, we all know, these are cheaper versions of the original imported drugs, which are very expensive, but they are life-saving drugs. So the cheaper version of these tablets and these drugs are made here, and they are called generic medicines. Same sorts, same drugs, but a cheaper price, because they are not patented. So Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana is tackling that issue, and Jan Aushadhi Kendras are opened all over the country. They are working, and that is launched by Department of Pharmaceutical, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. We all know about this ministry, and that is taking the case of drugs and all. But this national list of essential medicine is by Ministry of Health. It is not by the same ministry. NHM is going on, and under that they make this national list for essential medicines, the medicines which are heavily used in maximum number of diseases. So WHO introduced that in Tanzania in 1975. 2 years later, 77 was the year when they introduced globally the essential medicines list. So that is the model that we are following. And in 1996, we brought the first essential medicine list, and since then we are updating it, and more than around 900 medicines are there. So on the Vikas PDA regarding this NLEM is giving the detail is given there, And in PIB also today the things these appeared. So only one is the answer. NLEM is by Ministry of Health, not by Chemicals Ministry. You can see DVDSM. This is a web-based supply chain management system, drug and vaccine distribution management system. That is actually finding the link between regional district drug warehouses, district hospitals, CHCs, PHCs, and it's an important work because it needs to be done. They need to know that how much supply is there, because supply problems are there in this country, and for crucial diseases, crucial issues and vaccines and drugs, we are facing many issues, like for the case of measles, rabies, everywhere we are finding the dearth of vaccinations, and the supply is not that great. Regarding the case of HIV also, many times we see these issues. So DVDSM, DMS's work is extremely important. And this PMBJP is also an important component, that is tackling the issue of generic medicines, which are also needed, and they are also essential medicines sometimes. So both these things are mentioned. Two important ministries are attached with that, and they are working. And you see the latest list was brought up in 2015. National Essential Medicine List 2015 is working here. And WHO Essential